Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, Flora, let me know when I should start.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Yes.
Okay. Thanks everyone for joining. Good morning. My name is Viral Shah. I head Products Engineering and International Business for TCS iON. Today, I will just talk about a story about how we transformed remote assessments powered by AI. So that is the session that I'm going to talk about it today. Before I go, I'll just give 30 seconds overview of our scale in assessment. So it will give the context of where we started this journey. So TCS iON Digital Assessment is one of the world's largest assessment platform. We have nearly 450 plus customers, and we have conducted nearly 216 million candidate assessment till now. And we conducted one of the world's largest exam with 18.9 million candidates, which was from one of the government agency in India, where very large scale recruitment assessment that we conducted. We have tie-up with nearly 6,700 plus test centers, and our predominant model was to conduct assessment on the test center model in person, where candidate will come to the test center and give the assessment. And we have huge teams of teachers and subject matter experts who build unique items. Nearly 1.4 million unique items across the subjects have been created. Now, this was a great story for us before pandemic started. And we were really cruising in our business with number of assessments, the high scale secured assessment. We have our patented OS devices and so on and so forth. But as you know that most of the businesses are disrupted from February, March onward with this pandemic started. And we also were not left out. Everything started coming to a standstill for us. And look at the impact that it created on us as well as the education institution. So first one was, it was kind of a wake up call for the world for the new normal, because you cannot call students or candidates at center, right? Because if your core business model is center-based assessment, high-stake assessments, you cannot even call people because of the health hazards, which was at that time. And we also got significantly impacted. Many of the institutions came on hibernate because their education institutions, their campuses were closed, their centers were closed, and there was no avenue to conduct any of the assessment, etc. The scale was another large parameter, as I gave you on the previous slide, that we deal with a humongous scale today. And can you manage the same scale for at-home assessment, right? So difficult to conduct very large-scale assessment without technology was another big problem statement at that time. Now, exam challenges, you know that significant number of exam challenges happen due to various reasons, lack of infrastructure at the student's end or candidate's end, difficulty in proctoring, how will you bring the reliable proctors, huge number of challenges on that side also. And finally, huge number of delay in recruitment exams. So certain exams which are academic in nature can wait, right? Certain other low stake exams can surely wait. But can you wait large scale recruitment examinations in the country? The answer is no. People will be jobless, right? If you don't conduct a recruitment exams in the country, people will not get the job, and there will be another set of challenges on the economical side, right? So that was also another big parameter. And huge number of disruptions in the assessment created a lot of anxiety in the student group, in the job aspirants, that when the exams will start, whether we will get a chance, what will happen, we will waste one full year, what will happen. So there was a need to completely reimagine the digital assessment from home, but again with the same speed, accuracy, security, and scale. So that was the challenge that we faced when the pandemic started, and that is what we term it as innovation in crisis, right? Which is absolutely apt with what British Council has set up as a theme for today. Moving on, we we quickly grouped together and we have a big lab for AI ML. You know, the TCS is very large organization, technology centric organization. And we gathered all our effort together to develop the AI ML based entire journey for the assessment. And AI enables many things on the assessment journey side. AI for authentication, AI for deduplication, AI for remote proctoring, AI for test scoring. We ventured into these areas significantly, and the good part was we were already in this journey since last 3 years. But only thing is, because it was on center assessment, we were not piloting many of these things even though technology was ready at our end. But this was a great opportunity for us. We truly converted that into an opportunity, and we implemented AI in all these 4 areas that I've mentioned here, whether it is authentication, whether it is signature detection or the face comparison of the candidate, or deduplication of the content. If it is a large question bank, how you identify the duplicate questions through AI, AI for remote proctoring, and AI for test scoring. So today in my session, I will mainly focus on AI for remote proctoring today, because that is very interesting, and we would like to share a story of how it went, and was it a very super great ride for us, or was it a bumpy ride? What challenges, what experiences that we've gained through this entire experience? It would be very interesting to hear this entire story. So when we started AIML capabilities in, especially in remote proctor area, we talked about many things, saying that, okay, first of all, we start with the verification, and we did the face recognition, signature detection, and document verification automation, so that the human who was doing it at a center earlier, now the machine is doing at home, right? So that's one area we completely eliminated. Second is proctoring, live proctoring for a candidate with multiple alerts generated by the system, like whether the same person is giving the exam, whether someone is not giving the exam during the exam, and someone has gone to copy some of the answers, etc. A group of people are mass cheating it. So those kind of proctoring alerts also, earlier it was a lab coordinator in center who was doing it. Now at home, the AIML machine is doing, and the first right of refusal is with machine now. Object detection, this was also another important aspect, because when you are in a center, you will do the frisking, etc. Now that processes are not possible. How do you do the object detection, whether the person is carrying a mobile or a headset or any object which can be the hindrance to the malpractice, right? So that was another big area. Posture analysis, which was very important, that with many people can do significant cheating at home, but many of the postures can help you understand whether that's a cheating posture or not. The eyebrow movement, eye movement, retina movement, many other things can be brought in together by AIML to decide that whether there is a attempt of malpractice during the examination, and that we did. There is a liveliness check. This was very important. We understood that there is a way by which I can just fool the system camera by showing my pre-recorded video, and just say that, yeah, I'm sitting and giving exam nicely, and it can be fooled because the other side, the proctor, has no way to see whether you are the same guy or whether someone else is doing. And we brought the liveliness checks, which will have an AI algorithm to detect the depth and the device and the picture originality where it is coming from. So that also was a big help. Droop detection, whether eye closure detection for droop, etc., were also analyzed. And audio behavioral analysis, whether some noise, human voice is detected during the examination, was also used as a key AI capability. And finally, invigilator tracking also was an important area, because you have to track your invigilators also whether they are doing their job correctly or not. So there also we put the AI hooks and make sure that invigilators are also tracked absolutely fine in this entire thing. So this was the overall of 8 capabilities of AI, which we deployed in our remote assessment at home, okay, which helped us significantly in conducting a very large high-stake examination. And I will tell you what all we did it. So as I mentioned, it was a secure assessment from home with monitoring and control, embracing the risk. Real-time actionable insights were generated by the system with all the 8 things that I mentioned, which created significant exponential value for our customers also, where some of the proctors were brought by the customer also. And it was a delight for them to see that you don't need a center to conduct an assessment, right? And finally, it was a blend of people, infrastructure, and technology all together. And it was segment and device agnostic, because you cannot assume best in class infrastructure at student when they are taking the exam at home, right? So this was the AI/ML created the impact in this entire thing. And simply three-step process that we deployed. One was self-proctoring. So when the exam is going on, a lot of checks are done by the machine itself, and there is a secure browser, we call it as, which was used. Then the second one is the machine proctoring. The machine had the first right of refusal to detect the anomalies and malpractices, cheating, etc. And finally, the AI/ML, the entire thing was actually being monitored duly by the human as well as the machine, right? So this is very important aspect that we staggered this in a three different step, and finally all of them were brought together with self-proctoring, machine proctoring, and dual proctoring with human. All three together we put together as part of this process. Look at the scale that we conducted. This is the case study I was referring to. We conducted this exam for one of the corporate which was conducting a recruitment exam, and 750,000 aspirants were waiting for a job in this corporate, and that was massive. Now usually we conduct such exams in center, and now we had no choice because corporate cannot wait for the job vacancies for so long, right? How would they do this entire exam? There are 50,000 concurrency for at-home assessment. And it is not like a appointment-based assessment. It is all of them with the same question paper at the same time. It was 3-hour exam. It was not a small exam, which also had the programming test as part of it. And we deployed nearly 2,500 proctors, which was a significant manpower that we deployed it for this exam. And such 50,000 concurrency, we conducted 12 sessions. So 12 different sessions. So in a day, there were 3 sessions, and we conducted this exam over the 5 days, over the period of 5 days, and we completed the 750,000 aspirants in this entire massive at-home assessment. And without AI/ML, we could not have conducted this exam, and we delivered the significant experience for our customer also on this particular thing. Moving on, was it a simple, easy stuff like an on-center assessment? You have perfected that process over 10 years or 15 years. Was it the same experience? The answer is no. I must tell you, it was a bumpy ride. And significant number of unknowns came to us, and we really put very agile effort to make sure that all of them were addressed. The first one, it started with the candidate self-registration. Many of the students in India today, they have moved to their villages, their hometown. Earlier, they were working in metro or studying in the universities in metro. Because of lockdown and many other things, they have moved to their villages or smaller towns or smaller villages. And believe me, they didn't have good infrastructure at that place. Connectivity was an issue. So many of the people, camera itself was not available. Now, can we say that you cannot take this exam if you don't have the camera? It will be discrimination, right? So we helped these people significantly, assuming that you will at least have a mobile phone. We enabled the registration on mobile phone and sorted out, and this was a big help during that. So even though you have to take exam on computer, but you need to do the self-registration on camera, was a kind of a solution that we gave it to them. Second was infrastructure readiness. Huge number of system settings were hindrances. Many of the kids used their parents' laptop, which was their parents were working in a corporate, large corporate, multinational, and that multinational company would have put a lot of firewalls, a lot of settings, a lot of antiviruses, and kids were using their parents' laptops. And lot of system control that you want to take it during the exam, they were hindrances during that particular thing. So this was also another big area. We set up a unique process called IRC, DRC, ERC, which was infrastructure readiness check. What we did is assume that today is your exam. 10 days back, we started the IRC check, which is called infrastructure readiness check. We will monitor every single candidate's infrastructure readiness at their end, and we gave them an option saying that, look, you have an infrastructure issue at home. You have a choice to conduct this exam at center also. So we conducted 2 things for people who can take exam at home or people who can come to the center and give the examination. So both options were open for this exam, which was a very unique setup, and we give chance. I would say that 88% of this 750,000 candidate gave exam from home, but 12%, which was a large volume, they actually came to the center and gave the assessment. but we could cover the full spectrum of all the candidate, all the aspirants for this recruitment. So that was amazing. Dry run check was the second process which we deployed there, which is called as DRC. And in that we check the concurrency, because it's not an easy job of having a 50,000 real concurrency with video feeds coming, AI/ML running. It was a massive infrastructure setup done at our end, and we conducted back-to-back 3 shifts. So in a 3 sessions in a day means amounting to 150,000 candidate assessment being taken in a single day on remote at home model, which was significantly large. And then exam readiness check before one day, everything is fine. We gave a lot of comfort to the candidate that don't worry, if something doesn't work during the examination, you always will have plan B to come to the center and give the examination. Third, very interestingly, we realized that even download speed at many of these people was not up to the mark. We have a secure browser, nearly 30 MB in size. You have to download that to start examination. And believe me, there were 40% of the candidate who were not having uninterrupted internet to even download this 30 MB. So there was, this was completely unknown. We never thought that someone to download just a 30 MB zip file can also be a significant help desk queries which can occur. And that was a big learning, and we reduced the size significantly, and then we helped the candidate to do that. Issues during the actual exam, browser compatibility issues. Before one day itself, say Google Chrome has given an upgrade, and suddenly that was upgraded. What will happen? Error message were happening. Antivirus was killing. There were many validity was increased in the configuration, etc. So we are continuously on the job to make sure that during the actual exam, there are no unknowns by which we can, that there can be disruption in the exam. We never thought that help desk, you need a humongous concurrency on help desk also. But with the great planning of 2,500 plus Proctor, we could scale up to 20,000 plus chats per day, and which was significant. It is a very small percentage of 150,000 candidate in a day, but still those systems also had to scale up, and not only your assessment engine was a big learning for us. And finally, the sixth one, we realized even you have to proctor the proctors. Because you have a massive 202,500 proctors, you need to make sure that they are also monitored during the exam, and there is absolutely fairness and security in the proctors, and they are not helping the candidates. So these were the 6 challenges I thought I would put it today as our learning. But we learned it from that. We completed, and very happy to announce that we completed 750,000 candidate at home model, which was completely reversed than our traditional business model of at center assessment. And this gave us a lot of confidence with AI/ML that can do wonders in this kind of assessment engine. Moving to the last slide of my presentation, we learned that, look, we conducted this exam, it is okay, but you had to conduct exam for nearly 100,000 people at center also, because they all did not have the connectivity or infrastructure at home. So there are no high-speed internet available with many of the students, internet with fluctuation and less bandwidth, lot of interruptions and discontinuation of internet during exam. There are humongous number of power failures during the exam. And what will student do? Will they lose time? What will happen? And mobile internet, someone used mobile dongles to connect to the internet. That also did not work for them. And test taking device was completely out of configuration, because as I mentioned, many of them have moved to the tier 2, 3 cities and did not have much control of what infrastructure was available with them, right? And we decided that we cannot continue like this. Yeah, we delivered a large scale assessment. Can we think about assessment which is completely without internet, no compromise on security, still having proctoring? And that is the way forward that we have agreed. And very happy to say that we have cracked this technology in next 3 to 4 months. You will have a technology from TCS iON, which will allow you to conduct exam 100% without internet connectivity. And we have a unique paper device, which is an appliance for assessment, which can do wonders and which will completely capture the feeds and everything in a no internet scenario and deliver the secure assessment. So this was our learning, that how we can still think differently. Even though you delivered an exam successfully, how do you think very differently for future, that even though people do not have connectivity, how can they be part of a larger inclusive assessment ecosystem, is what the way forward that we have agreed, and we are working very diligently to make it happen. So that's it from my side. I thought I'll share this innovation in crisis case study with you, and how we completely reimagine rethinking of assessment, how we applied and delivered a large customer case study. Over to you, Flora. That's it from my side. Very happy to take any questions if there are.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Flora, can I ask?
Yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Viral, thank you very much. That's very interesting. Just out of interest, as you review, what were the main types of cheating that people tried? Out of interest, the top 3 things that people tried to do. I'm interested.
Sure, absolutely. We can spend the full day on this. I will tell you top 3 cheatings. First of all, we saw many unique setups at candidate home. Okay, so assume that today what you are seeing right now on my laptop right now, you are seeing the front face of me, right? You don't know what is happening in front of me because there is no other camera, correct? So there were people sitting in front of the people which are not capturable through one camera, was one cheating that we saw. But the facial recognition, expressions, body language and posture could easily tell you that something is happening, someone is sitting and helping the candidate. That's first thing that I want to tell you, which we saw. Second one was huge number of WhatsApp and Telegram groups were formed where people were just taking the photograph of the screen, posting it to get the answer. So we solved that problem by putting many checks in the platform that you just have a question level timers, right? So you will not get more than say 45 seconds to, even though you ask someone and to get an answer, that question is over for you. You can't do anything, you can't revisit and many other things. So we solved that problem. But WhatsApp and Telegram group were another big proportion of the cheating. But after they understood that this way of asking question, getting answer and missing the question because timer is over is not useful. Believe me, we personally were part of nearly 18 such groups, and the group were dying out between the second day and third day onwards completely. Because they understood that if I do it, I'm wasting my time, right? Doing it, when I get the answer, my question is already gone. I cannot get anything. So that was another big cheating, which is second thing that I mentioned to you. Many people tried to create a technology-based cheating. So they created a virtual machine in their desktop. They tried to connect it to the HDMI cable to project it on the television so that other set of group can see it and other thing. But they were all prevented, and we got an alert saying that people are trying to do that. So there were nearly 2,000 to 3,000 people were debarred during the exam because of this incident, because they were all automated in our system. So these are the top three cheatings if I have to tell you. The setup at their end, which was very unique. Like I told you, what is in front of me is not visible. The second one is technology related cheating. And the third one is WhatsApp and Telegram with the photograph are the top three things come to my mind. But we can spend a lot of time on this subject.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Vera. There's one more question from Maria Yeo. And she said, thanks for a fantastic presentation. Very interested to hear more about how you will create an inclusive system, especially for people with poor or no internet connection.
Absolutely. So I covered it partially in my presentation. So we realized that, look, see, earlier when we planned it, it was a massive volume. 750,000 candidates, you have to cover it in 5 days is a very, very tall ask, right, for any assessment, and that too at home. So we realized when we started the IRC and DRC process, which I mentioned to you, infrastructure readiness check, we realized that several people do not have the connectivity at their home or laptop or desktop, which are high end, which are required for camera, etc. And we opened up another alternative for them, that you come to the nearest center. If you don't have connectivity, you come to the center and give the assessment. So that is the way we made it inclusive. And we are very happy that 100% coverage we could do it. And I told you that 15% people of this nature, they did not have connectivity or infrastructure at home. They gave the examination at center. So that is the way we converged into an inclusive assessment. But as I mentioned to you, in future technology, we are definitely coming with a version which will require no internet, no hi-fi infrastructure, and still we will deliver the fair and secured assessment. And that's a patent that we are already working on it, right?
Okay, and may I ask one more question?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Have you also investigated tax takers' responses to taking examination under such circumstances? Did they their attitudes or whether their reaction, how they did react to being assessed under such circumstances?
Yes. So you are absolutely right. We have a normalization and equivalence criteria because we conducted this exam in multiple sessions, as I mentioned to you, because of infrastructure and other things. Still 50,000 concurrency was massive. So we analyzed and evaluated the criteria, but this was mainly for IT related questions, and there were programming questions and many other things. They had to perform a C, C++, Java kind of programs, etc. also on that. But we definitely did the analysis of in which circumstances. We did the analysis of people coming to the center giving the exam and people doing at home. What is the difference between these two people giving the examination with so many interruptions during the examination versus people who did it very smoothly. Lot of analysis we are doing it right now, and we have shared it with our customer on the result preparation and other things also. In fact, Leonkit, we also found a unique pattern of copy. So even though top 3 reasons I mentioned in the beginning, it is very easy to detect the cheating cases and copy cases through data also nowadays. So response analysis on the cheating cases also we did it. And that was also a significant help to our customer. In fact, there are many places where candidate went to a coaching institute or coaching center, sat together and gave the examination, and we could identify such 200 people's responses exactly identical. See, you and me can have a right response same, but you and me cannot have a continuous wrong response same, right? So that is very unique pattern, and that pattern analysis of AI also helped us significantly in find out those malpractices through responses.